Hey guys, Hadrigon here, back here with yet another Hunter x Hunter video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Neferpitou. So this is Neferpitou, from ruthless killer to compassionate protector. Neferpitou is a character that when we're first introduced to her, she is very different from when we see her die. She gets introduced to us as this curious cat, right? There's this expression, curiosity killed the cats, and this most certainly did happen. But she is very much a character that's not got any sense of remorse. She's just fully focused on her objectives. She's been born and she's excited to try out her new powers. That is, until she goes and fights kites. That is a dichotomy and the refraction points of where her character arc changes and evolves. From fighting kites, she realized the usefulness of being compassionate in the sense that Kite pushed her. Kite gave her that excitement, that thrill of combat, that thrill of being alive she really craved. And it's in that moment that it was gone and she wants it back. And she had to think of a way to get it back. And that was to come up with a power and an ability that could make it so that she can experience that all over again. And that is to fix fallen foes so that she can vanquish them once again. And it's in that childish, amusing, just overall innocence of her, right? She's a character that's definitely got the least maturity out of the three royal gods from the start. She's just very focused on her job, enjoying it, and seeking out challenges. And then the king is born. And the king immediately becomes a mentor figure to her. You see that in her childish, playful look. She's explaining to the king all the flaws and all of what he could be doing with his men and about the special humans. And he tries to kill her. That was the first sense of consequences she had ever experienced in her brief life. And that really showed her the importance of life, right? If she had died in that moment, she couldn't have done her job of protecting the king. All three of the royal gods, they have these implants in their heads in the sense that their whole brains and their whole ecosystem of being alive is programmed around the king's well-being. It's in their biology. They can't beat it or even escape from it. And there's a parallel between how she ends up becoming with how Ahsoka is, right? We see that she goes and she heals kites to the sense that she puts his body back together and doesn't let him decompose. Her whole ability, Dr. Blythe, is based on that parallel of nurturing to get that ultimate reward. There's a reason that Ahsoka keeps Gon and Killua alive, is because he knows that to get something good, you need to protect it. To be able to destroy, you need to first protect, or else there'll be nothing to destroy when that time comes. And Pitou learns this very well. It's why she's so attuned to the king's needs. Out of the three royal gods, she is very much fully instinctual, which is why at birth she is so all over the place. She's extravagant. Poof is filled with duty. He's got this sophistication, and Yuppie has logic. He doesn't see the reason to do all these shenanigans. And it's through that instinct that Pitou becomes more and more in tune with the reality of her environment as she matures. That maturation comes from the king, Meruem, for giving her consequences. And the epitome of the seed that started this mindset came from her confrontation with Kite. And this is slowly growing throughout the arc, right? We see her with the king when the king's playing against Komugi. And we see how she's starting to develop a friendship. She's starting to care about the king beyond what she's been programmed to. And we see that her role out of the three gods is to keep her N around at all times. So she is forced in that mind state, right? She's forced to think, protect, 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 protect. There is nothing else in her life. She is just there as a shield of N that stops anything coming near the king. And it's in that moment that she lets her N down and she goes and fires up, of course, her Ren to attack Netero. And that's another consequence. She loses. She's away from the king and she fails. And we see her snap. We see her lock in a way we've never seen before or even after. And she goes towards the king at such an extreme speed and with such just raw emotion, such determination. And she freezes. She's terrified. She knows what the king is feeling because she's been around him. She's had her N active the whole time. She's been reading him through being the one protecting him. In the end, it's a bit of a parallel again to, of course, Komugi and Meruem, and then from Pitou to Meruem, where Pitou doesn't know when she started really loving Meruem in that sense, just like Meruem doesn't know for Komugi. It's something that just happens over time when you're in vulnerable moments and you're just close to someone. And we see Meruem broken. Meruem has lost his reason. He's lost his purpose. He is there completely befuddled, in agony. He's in mourning. And he is just emitting this absolutely horrifying aura. And Pitou is moved by it. She feels like it's her fault. She could have stopped it from happening. If she didn't let her N go, Komugi wouldn't have been injured. She knows that the king has positive reactions towards this girl because instinctually she sensed it this entire time. And Meruem just looks at her and he says, "Heal Komugi, I'm counting on you." And she starts crying. She's overwhelmed. She is in this state where she can feel what she's been trying to protect, what she's been born for. She can feel it breaking away. Poof and Yuppie can't feel that because to them, they're protecting the king and his image. But Pitou is protecting the king the way the king wants to be. She's in tune with his emotional side and his emotional space. And after that, from that point of view, she stops being a killer. She becomes a protector, a provider. She's so focused on healing Komugi that she's not even willing to take out the threats to the king, even when she acknowledges there are threats, until Komugi is safe. And it's in her final moments with Gon where she realizes that everything's fine. Komugi's been saved, and now she needs to get rid of him. There was a very good moment in the confrontation when Gon confronted Pitou, right? He confronted the past Pitou, the Pitou that killed Kite, the ruthless killer, the one that put a hand on Ramot, and Ramot felt like he was about to die. This just malicious aura. We see the cat's just aura coming out in her grim smile. And now she is this person that's got everything to lose. And she feels so much compassion for Gon that whilst when Gon was confronting her, she didn't hear any words. The narrator made it very clear to us that she didn't hear anything that Gon said. She was willing to say and do whatever to buy time. But even though she didn't hear it or she didn't understand, she did feel Gon's emotional states. And she feels compassion for him. She apologizes. As she is healing her hands, she says, "I'm sorry, but I must do this for the king." And it's quite the growth, because she didn't apologize to Kite before killing him. She didn't apologize to anyone. She does everything because she craved to do it beforehand. And now she is completely limiting her instinctual ability only to when it's absolutely necessary. She's learned to control herself. It's in that reason that she found out this is the moment. It's now or never. I need to make him unleash against me so that that raw power doesn't come up against the king, so that whatever is going to happen happens to me and not him. And she dies. And in that death, she's got relief. She says, you know what? That's amazing. I was able to take this in the king's place. And that's the full circle, right? That's the mother that's proud, the mother that succeeded. That's the mother that's had a life of completion, the satisfaction, the inner peace. But she is so determined and she's so one in spirit with Meruem that even after she dies, her Nen stays. Dr. Blythe revives her body in her post-mortem state, and she goes and takes Gon's arm. It's in that feral struggle where Gon becomes the monster, the animal, the cat. He starts pulverizing her dead body, her dead corpse, over and over again. But us, the audience, realizes what has happened. It's been such a nuanced transition. Every time we've seen her, she's been changed. We just hadn't noticed until that moment. Until the moment it became clear Gon was the monster. And Togashi is such a master that he gave us so many clues. The way she talked, the way she acts just changed, right? At the start, she was very just passive, saying, I don't know if I like the fact you can read my thoughts, Shao Poof. Or she'll be like, oh yeah, just, come with us to the king now. Who cares if the queen's dead? And then later on, we see this, poof, go away. This boy, do not come any closer. And we can see just how much she has evolved, how much she has grown as a person through these experiences, through this adversity, through this need for conquest. She has realized the importance of protecting the weak. Because without weakness, there cannot be strength. And through that, she gets corrupted. She gets corrupted by that weakness she is nurturing into strength. It's quite the difficulty, right? To become this perfect protector that's also strong and ruthless, but it's also got the angelic qualities to reassure and to appease your master. And in the end, she couldn't quite pull it off. She was too emotionally attached to Meruem's current mental state that she changed along with it. It's just parallel, right? Meruem is like a boat and she is an anchor. As Meruem is setting off sail at this incredible speed, she's getting dragged along with him. As Meruem became this nice person, Pitou could sense it, and she changed her objectives based on someone that was becoming more and more human. And so she became do that, right? In the end, the royal guard is very much a motherly figure. It's this protection, this cloak of security around the king, his bodyguards in spirit and in form. And she took that job so seriously, to the point that it's the only thing that her life meant. She didn't have any moments of evolution in the sense that Poof or Yuppie did. Her evolution was becoming more and more like her king. She was willing to sacrifice her life for Komugi in any sense, shape, or form. She viewed the king as this friend, this figure that she needs to nurture. He needs to reach his goal. And she believes that there was lots of threats to that goal, and that became from her nature. That precautionary cat, the instincts, the 9 lives, it all just corresponds together symbolically, metaphorically, and thematically to just fuel this very, very intimate character. That's a great way to describe her, intimacy. It feels intimate, her moments. We see how she is just there, arms, laid forwards. We see her in lots of biblical references in the volume covers, being Mary, and she very much feels like that within the story. She is a character that, as we see more and more, she loses her cat instincts to become human ones as Meruem starts questioning himself and his reasoning for being the king. At the start, she goes, meow, meow, meow. You know, it's a bit of a cat. It's almost a bit of a humorful thing, right? She's very much curiosity, right? And that curiosity is what fuels her to take chances, to gamble. And she loses the ability to gamble even in the slightest. If she had let Poof come closer, Poof and her would have killed Gon and kept Komugi alive. There's no way. Gon could not have gotten to her. So it was just this nature that she's not willing to take any chances because she knows that she isn't perfect. She suffered those consequences from Meruem punishing her, afterwards from Netero doing so too. That she views herself as part of the world and as an extension of it. She's got a vulnerability these other royal gods don't. She's so down to earth. She views people as mentalities instead of their physical presence as the main criteria for analyzing who's a threat or not. And in the end, that was her undoing. Pitou became too gentle. The cats got tamed. She became the kitty from being the monster. This is my take and my analysis on Neferpitou. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you got any suggestions for videos you'd like me to do, please leave it down below. And yes, thank you so much for the support. I do Hunter x Hunter videos every single day. So if you want to be part of the journey, please subscribe. And yes, I hope you've all had an incredible day. I wish you all the best. This is Hadrigon. Peace out.